Hello and welcome to the Basscast podcast. I am Evan, aka WebEv, and I'm here with
Alex. I am Redx.
Alright, and this is technically episode 1. And basically the reason we wanted to try this is because, from what I can tell, there's pretty much a podcast about anything out there. Anything that people have interest in. There's even podcasts on podcasting. And me in particular, I like to listen to like random stuff, like car podcasts. I like roller coaster podcasts, sports podcasts. And I had been looking for an EDM podcast when I really got into listening to it, and I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything on iTunes, at least. I found a few that had it would just basically play. It would basically just stream music, which is fine, which is great, but like personally, I prefer to find the music that I want to listen to, and then I want to listen to it on my own, basically, like on my own demand. So, and I think I found one or two EDM podcasts where it's kind of a generic. It's kind of like broad over everything. And like they did several interviews with certain DJs, and that's fine and all. But there's definitely, at least not that I've found, there's definitely not one centered on bass music. And obviously that's something that you and I really like.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're starting with this, and it's pretty open. We're open to new ideas, stuff to talk about, I would say. I definitely do want to focus on a few things as far as where we stand. Alex and I are both anti-drugs, and this is a huge, in my opinion, it's a huge problem in the EDM community.
Yes, I agree.
I think that drugs, I don't think there's anything good about drugs, and like ecstasy, and I mean ecstasy is pretty much one of the most
used, yeah.
One of the most used at festivals.
Yeah. And
I know for a fact that neither of us even smoke. Like we don't do weed, and that's kind of where we stand on drugs, and I think that's where we're going to continue to stand.
Yes.
Again, I understand that it's a huge part of the EDM community.
Yes.
And a lot of people embrace that, but I don't think we do. I don't like that it's being embraced.
Like for me, I go to these festivals or to these raves, and I just like to see. I first off, I love to hear the music that is played. If the DJ, the headliner, whoever it is, whether it's a festival or for a rave, I always absolutely love to hear songs that I like to play or like to listen to. And I'm part of the basshead community. There are a lot of songs out there that I absolutely love. And to, I don't know, just be high or something like that, it just doesn't make me feel like I could have a good time. You may be feeling good while listening or whatever, but I just want to be sober and know what I'm doing while I'm at these festivals or while I'm at these raves, and that's it's just, it's kind of.
Well, I mean, when you and I go to raves, we're not there to do a bunch of extracurricular stuff.
Yeah.
We're there for the DJs, to see the sets, to hear the music, to meet some people, and I don't know why I need drugs to do that.
Yeah, I totally understand. And that's how my take is, too. I just don't understand why you need to have something to make you feel good in order to have a good time,
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time just going.
Because I'm there for the music and not to feel. I'm there in order to have a good time, but I don't need, quote unquote, support from drugs to have a good time.
Right. No, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And again, I dream of a day that well, I guess music festivals in general have always a kind of had that stereotype of having people that are going to do drugs.
Right.
And I don't know if there's a way to ever get past that. I kind of doubt it that there is. I mean, because that goes back to like Woodstock,
Yeah.
that whole generation.
Yeah.
I mean, they were known for doing weed and stuff. And
Yeah.
I guess the EDM community, there's definitely weed there. I would say the stereotype is almost more directed to ecstasy
Yeah.
and drugs that straight up trip you out. And
Yeah.
again, what's wrong with just having the music and I feel trippy just seeing some of the visuals there, like some of the really big stages.
Yeah.
I mean, how is that not enough?
I don't know. Like some of these, because I know that she does one, but I know Rez likes to do some of those trippy kind of like hypnotic looking visuals. It's so cool to see, but I just don't think you need.
Why is that not enough?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it's because we've never done it, but I mean, I don't care to do it in the first place. You know?
Yeah, I feel like it's a road that there's no way that it leads to something good.
Right.
It might lead to something good to begin with, but there's just you've got all the drug overdosing stories that you hear about, and people die.
Yeah.
And it's just dark, and I just have no desire, and I think you feel the same way.
Yeah, I would totally. Yeah, I don't care to use drugs or ever support them or whatever. I don't care about them.
Same. I mean, because of course for us, music is the drug, am I right out?
True that.
So that being said, I did kind of want to get into where we come from, where we live. Maybe not an exact address, but where we are, and kind of get into who our favorite DJs are. And to begin with, we're both from North Alabama, which it's funny. Alabama is not in the EDM scene hardly at all.
No, not at all. Whenever you mention the state of Alabama, the immediate thought runs to a person's mind that's not from Alabama is hillbilly and all this stuff and dating your cousin and all that stuff. But honestly, I mean there are parts of Alabama, yeah, that are like that, but if you're
I mean, I'm just thinking what are there even any festivals in Alabama that have EDM DJs? I mean, there's the Hangout Festival, and that's in South Alabama near the beach.
Yeah,
I know that Skrillex has been there. I think Bass Nectar's been there. I'm pretty sure Bass Nectar has been there.
I know Skrillex has. I mean, there's around the state, I know in Birmingham and definitely I think surely Montgomery. I know there are little nightclubs that I've actually been to that had just a tour of some bass DJ that was touring just around America, and I mean maybe those venues are not as well known than some others in Vegas or New York or wherever, definitely California, but I mean hey, it's still something I would like to go see. So I mean I always try and make time to go and see them. I mean. Yeah, we're just a few hours from Nashville or somewhere in Atlanta or something like that, where they're more well-known places to tour. But, other than, I mean, Alabama's not really a heavy place for EDM, but, I mean, hey, we're from Alabama, but we like EDM, so.
Yeah, well, and being from Alabama, it's not all that bad, because, I mean, like we said, we do have the Hangout Festival. We do have Atlanta's got people are always going through Atlanta, and Atlanta's got a what's their big festival?
I actually don't know.
It's the water. Imagine, right?
Yeah.
Imagine,
yeah.
And Nashville's always got people going through. So I get, and I honestly don't even know how we got into. I think, if I remember correctly, the first EDM song I heard, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm pretty sure it was a hardstyle song.
Was it?
And, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, and it was when I was a freshman in college, and like one of my friends was just like, oh dude, you gotta check this out, and it was just like boom, 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 and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I like that, and I think he then showed me, he either showed me like a Dead Mouse song or Scary Monsters and Nice Sprite, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just, and then did I introduce it to you, or did you? How did you find it?
Okay, I want to say that either, back in the day, the Call of Duty montages, how they would always play, a crazy dubstep song over it. I don't know if that's what got me into it.
Oh yeah.
Or
like Monster Cat type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably like a Monster Cat type stuff. But I mean, I want to say that maybe from earlier, back when I was in like middle school, I want to say that maybe it was a Flux Pavilion song that got me.
You think that was?
That
was what triggered it.
Maybe, I don't know, but I just remember when you showed me the Scary Monsters Nice Sprites from Skrillex. I just took off from that, and I was like, Skrillex, oh, that was so good.
You were a big Skrillex.
And then when I was young, this was a long time ago, but I used to think that Skrillex was better than Bass Nectar. My eyes have been opened, guys. My eyes have been opened.
Yeah, clearly.
I'm not that, just homing in on one DJ, but.
Well, Skrillex, I think Skrillex was really big in the scene around the time that we started really getting into dubstep. That 2010, 2011-ish era.
Right.
I guess like 2011-ish.
Yeah.
And by the way, that was back in the day where like people would associate Skrillex and Dead Mouse in the same category, and it's like that literally makes they're two completely different genres.
Exactly. If you know music now, EDM music now, that would totally be the way two opposite sides. Considering how Dead Mouse thinks of dubstep now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like his thoughts on it is just hilarious.
So you're thinking that Flux Pavilion was one of the first songs that it was this is starting something. Yeah,
what is that? YouTube? It's UKF.
Or UKF. Yep, UKF dubstep.
Something like that. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, because UKF had like his Gold Dust and.
Yeah, Gold Dust. I remember Gold Dust was probably one of my favorite songs from back in the day.
Yeah.
I still love it today, but.
It is a good one.
You have to love some good old classic Flux Pavilion. It's really good.
Absolutely. Okay. What about some set? Now you and I have been to quite a few sets together.
Yes.
And when I say set, I mean any type of concert where it's just like maybe 3 or 4 DJs in the night, or an entire festival. Any particular sets or anything that you've seen that just like sticks out and it was like, wow, this is awesome?
Okay, so I will say 2017 when Excision was touring during like the early part of the year, we went to go see the Paradox, and I'm pretty sure did you see the Paradox before I did?
I saw the Paradox the year before.
Okay.
And I was like, Alex, you have to come see this.
Okay, yeah. So, if you have yet to see Excision and the Paradox, and you absolutely love bass music, go see Excision and the Paradox. Whether it's not at a close place, like being from Alabama, I went all the way to I went to Orlando to go see this, and oh my goodness, when his opening was so good, and then I know that's kind of like a stereotype to like drop a cape or whatever, drop a huge tarp or whatever, yeah, and then like to the opening or whatever. But when that tarp came down, that was one of the coolest openings I've seen.
Well, that whole stage production is
It's just so good.
Well, I mean, that is the way to experience a live dubstep concert.
And Exertion did a great job of doing that.
Well, I mean, and again, if you have not seen it, like I don't know if he's on. I don't think he's on tour right now. He's probably getting ready for Lost Land.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he's about to. I think. I can't remember if he has on social media, but I think he's getting an album together. His next album.
Oh, is he?
I think. It's like, because it's been 2 years since he's had Virus, his last album.
Yeah.
That was back in 2016, because he released the remixes around the same time last year, I think. And so, I mean, he just dropped, his Illenium collab, Gold, and I think he's about to drop a new album sometime this fall. Now, I mean, that's just speculation from me, but seeing how Virus came out, a couple of years ago, around the fall time period, I think he's going to drop another album.
Yeah, and I mean, Virus has a ton of bangers on it.
Yes, I agree.
But I mean, that stage production, like I said, that stage production, that is the way to experience a live dubstep concert. And if you have not seen it, you need to go see it. And
I agree.
Honestly, and we've been to several festivals, but that live production in an enclosed building, it's obviously extremely loud, but it is a wild fun time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I've seen it. I saw it the year before that, and then I told you that you needed to see it. Just because it's spectacular. I'm trying to think. Like, I remember seeing Bass Nectar. The first time I saw Bass Nectar, I definitely got goosebumps. And he was doing his. I think he had just released his Into the Sun CD, and he dropped Into the Sun in the middle of his set, and it was one of those times when they've got confetti going and the smoke and all that stuff, and it was just like everybody around me was dancing. I remember, and I was just like. I wasn't dancing. I was standing there just literally in awe. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Mm-hmm. And Bass Nectar, of course, Bass Nectar is my favorite. I don't know if we want to go into our actual favorite DJs. If someone said, Evan, you have to pick a favorite DJ, I have to say Bass Nectar. And it's been Bass Nectar for quite a few years now.
Yeah, for you it's been for me it's kind of
I feel like it's up in the air for you because you kind of move around a little bit.
Like at first when I was starting out listening, I loved Skrillex, and then he back in 2013 he dropped Recess, and Recess was an okay album, and then he collabed with Diplo with that Jack U. And, he had some good songs on that. I know the Justin Bieber one I know it didn't really grow on you, but I think it eventually did or whatever. But Where Are You Now?
Oh, yeah, I like that one. I like that one.
That's a good one.
Like, the thing about Skrillex is when he did that Recess album, there was quite a few songs on there that weren't just like straight up hard dubstep, and I think that's when he started losing fans. Well, maybe not losing fans, but that's when he started branching out a little bit, which again I'm fine with. Like if you've done one banger dubstep song, that doesn't mean that every song you make has to be like I'm fine with people with DJs branching out.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think
if they want to go in a different direction, like I know Getter, he's been doing like some crazy dubstep kind of stuff, and I don't know how long ago he posted on Twitter or something like that, but he said that he wanted to go into a different direction, which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah, he's got some new CD called Visceral coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's actually released when he's going to come out with that or not.
Right.
But that's just a DJ experimenting. I am 100% fine with that.
Yes.
We're gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
So
just to see what creative ideas they can come up with.
Yeah, it's not like we're gonna say, it's not, it's not dubstep. We're not listening.
Yeah, we're not strict just dubstep lovers. We like any kind of bass music. Like for instance, me, at first I used to listen to straight dubstep only, but then I branched out, to trap and to future bass, and then to some bass house, some I'm not really typical on hardstyle because I don't think hardstyle is all that good.
Except Keizo.
Because but Keizo does. I think Keizo.
It's like a trappy. It's like a trappy.
I'll say that, you know how he goes from like a hardstyle and then he drops it from a hardstyle and then, you know, a few measures later he goes into like a trappy-ish. I kind of like that. That's what I kind of like about Keizo. That's the main reason why I like Keizo. It's just going from the hardstyle to like the trappy-ish sound. But I mean, I know Keizo does mainly hardstyle, but I mean, I follow Keizo on, you know, his social media, but.
Yeah.
Going back to if you like had to say who your favorite EDM artist is, currently, right now, I think I would have to say Zomboy.
That's right.
Really
like
Zomboy. Because way back in the day, before I started, you know, Spotify or SoundCloud, I listened to Pandora. And I know Pandora's the worst thing to listen music on because you can't really choose anything, but it's been a long time since I've been on Pandora. So I remember I was listening to this one station on Pandora, and I think one of his songs came up. And so I eventually searched the song, and I found out that it was Zomboy. And so I searched him on Spotify, and then I eventually just got to most of his songs, and I was like, oh my goodness, there is more artists out here than just, you know, Excision. Yeah, just Excision and Skrillex, and oh my goodness. And now I follow the main dubstep bass music record labels like Disciple or Never Say Die Firepower.
And that's a really good way to branch out.
Yeah.
And find other artists. Like there are so many there's tons of EDM artists, period. But just any type of bass music you can think of, like there's probably somebody that's done it or is working on it now. Yeah. And I absolutely love finding, you know, these DJs who have less than like 5,000 followers on SoundCloud, and they've got a couple of bangers in there, and it's just like how are we not like listening to this every day? Like, okay, and we went to see Heckler a few months ago, down here in Orlando. By the way, I live in Orlando. Alex is still in Alabama. I live in Orlando, Florida, and so I have way more access to more
venues.
Yeah, more venues and concerts than Alex does.
More local, basically.
Yeah, but he usually comes down here several times in the year, and we always try to hit up a concert or two. And usually we go to EDC Orlando. That's like our main festival.
The main festival, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, that's kind of a side note. I meant to say that earlier. But anyways, yeah, like we went and saw Heckler, and like, I mean, Heckler can throw down, like, some of his songs are like they're so weird, but they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And like he's collabed with a guy named G-Rex. Mm-hmm. And G-Rex is doing some weird stuff, but it sounds weird, it sounds different, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it's just a different creative way, and it just comes to show that people can make music that sounds really good. Now, I mean, I particularly don't know how to like use music software, but just listening to different kinds of, you know, creative ideas that these music producers can come up with, it's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other particular sets or any other EDM live moments that kind of speak to you that you've experienced?
I mean, the first EDC Orlando that I went to, I can remember it was back in 2016, and it just so happened to be Bass Center was going there, and I just knew that, like, you know, basically for the whole entire year I was listening to his new album. Well, I guess from the summer that it was released, I listened to Unlimited, and I just tried to catch up on all the songs, and I think one of my favorite songs from that was TKO. I tried to learn all the lyrics for it, but unfortunately he didn't play it. But I mean, granted, his set did like go out twice, but I mean, I still think that Bass Nectar was really, really good, but it's hard to come since his set kind of like did quit there for a second or two. It is kind of hard to choose between that one or going to see the Paradox, and I might have to pick the Paradox, honestly.
I love Bass Nectar to death, but I agree with you. The best set I've ever seen was the Paradox, and that just goes to show you. I mean, you have a huge festival. It's got those
Yeah.
huge stages, and that Paradox is just something else.
Granted, we have not seen,
Oh yeah,
a Bass
there's a
Nectar.
lot of things that we haven't seen.
Yeah, there's a ton of things that we haven't seen. Like, we have not seen, like, a Bass Nectar specific show. Like,
Yes,
we're trying to plan on going to his NYE this year, and I just hope it knocks the socks off me, honestly.
I if we can do that, we definitely need to do that. Um, but I'm like we said, like there's a lot of DJ. Well, we've seen a lot of DJs,
Mm-hmm.
mostly at EDC Orlando, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of like shows where they bring all the equipment and they have a show specifically like that they design. Like and I think that's why the Paradox works so great is because Excision and his team made that stage specifically for that set, that type of music, and like the visuals fit in perfectly with the music. Like of course he's got a few songs, like Harambe and
Yeah.
what Samurai, and that's a song, right? Samurai,
It's
or is it? Is it?
oh no,
It's
shoot!
one with him and it's I think it's him and Datsik, right?
No, it's a Datsik song. That's what it is.
Oh, it's Datsik's song, and it's
Yeah,
just
that he
Samurai.
used in his set. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and but like Harambe, while he's playing Harambe, you're getting chased by Harambe on the screens,
yeah,
and like there's like multiple songs where he's just playing an Excision song, and it's like a giant T-Rex is like eating the audience. It's fantastic, and I'm a huge dinosaur fan, so I love seeing stuff like that, and I even recall. The first time I saw Excision's Paradox, like, we were really getting on a Paradox
yeah.
rant here, but the first time I saw the Paradox, like, I remember he had, like, a T-Rex, like, somebody in one of those T-Rex suits come out and, like, was dancing around, and then we saw the Paradox the first time where you and I both saw it together, and then he only came out for, like, 2 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
which was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, still,
We need more people in dinosaur suits and all that,
yeah,
blowing smoke out of their mouths or whatever.
yeah. I mean, it's still definitely worth the ticket. And I'm trying to think. Like I said, the first time I saw Bass Nectar was amazing. First time I saw Excision's Paradox was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen Zomboy, and you have. Oh yeah, you have seen.
We saw him at EDC this past year. I have seen when we went to go. We have also seen Millennium. Millennium live was really good. And then we have seen Slender and Nightmare.
Yeah, Slander always puts on a good live show.
Yeah, I really do like Slender.
We've seen Slander at least 3 times now.
I've seen Slender twice.
I feel like I've seen him 3 or 4 times, but he always does a live. They always do a good live show. But yeah, I can't think of. I mean, like usually you have fun at the festivals.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we saw Keizo, like Keizo kind of blew us away because we never heard of him, had we? And
I don't
like,
think so.
and we because we were at at Keizo's set because after Keizo was going to be, was it Boombox Cartel or RL Grime or somebody, and no, it was Nightmare.
Oh, was it?
I think Keizo was right before Nightmare.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, and that was going to be our first time seeing Nightmare, but yeah, I remember Keizo. Keizo was awesome, and then we heard like an interview with him the day after or something on XM radio or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, obviously we go for hours talking about different sets. One person that I have seen that you have not seen is Datsik.
Well,
And
technically, I have seen Datsik, but that was when he was with F Word. But now that's
yes,
kind of
yeah,
that's
we have both seen F Word, but only I have seen Datsik by himself. And I saw Datsik's Ninja Nation stage where he's a ninja and he's got that hat on and he's like all dressed out like a ninja. And like if you haven't heard, Datsik is in some pretty deep water right now. In fact, I'm looking at his Twitter right now and he has not tweeted since March 14th, March 15th.
yeah.
And we'll get into that in a second. Datsik's got, well, he had a pretty good stage show as well. But yeah, this Datsik story is pretty bad actually.
Hmm.
If you haven't heard, if you keep up with bass music with dubstep, I'm sure you've heard of Datsik. He was one of the like the top people back in like 2010 2011
People,
with Skrillex and all of them.
yeah, people would like. I know they didn't do it much, but people would absolutely go crazy over a Datsik B2B excision, and
Oh yeah,
now that's. I mean, from the people that have seen that, I mean, good for you. Like I've always wanted to see that, but I mean now that this has happened to him, I mean, I guess we'll be lucky to see if he ever does it again.
yeah. So for those of you that don't know, all was well on the front for Datsik until March 14th when I believe it was on Facebook. Several people, well, several girls actually commented on a post saying that that they had been fans of Datsik and um, had gone to several shows with him, but that he was actually borderline raping girls and leaving them on the side of the road. I know that um, one of them said that that he had basically, I guess, got a
Drug
really.
them up.
I don't know if he drugged them up or if he just got them really drunk and then
Yeah.
like had sex with them and then left them on the side of the road or something.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
And
it's just a crazy, stupid story
I
that.
think it's all allegations at
Yeah,
this point. I don't know that anything's been proven, but I'm just going to tell you right now, it is very suspicious when a couple of Facebook posts show up and people question Datsik, and then he releases this terrible apology, which I'll read in a second, and then um, blocks his Twitter from anybody commenting anything.
Yeah.
And he has not tweeted since March. Like, this is, I mean, obviously this is a kind of an older story, but if you've not seen anything from Datsik, or if you've not heard anything from Datsik in the past 3-4 months, that's why. So anyways, yeah, and like you can go on, everything's on Twitter, obviously. Like there's plenty of I think there's like 3 or 4 like Facebook post screenshots that kind of been circulating. People showing that he's like basically sexually abusing girls.
Yeah.
And there's something with the whole Tulsa thing,
Yeah.
where certain girls that had backstage passes would have Tulsa written on them. Well, come to find out, Tulsa's an inside joke with Datsik and his team, and they all have the joke that Tulsa is a slut backwards, TULSA ASLUT.
Yeah.
Which again, that goes back to the whole hate speech. Like this is EDM. This is supposed to be plur.
Yeah.
Like everything is supposed to be plur centered. Either way, I want to read out this this absolutely terrible apology that he released on Twitter that day, that all the allegations came out. Starts with "Yo everyone." Yo everyone.
Not suspicious at all.
Yeah. Yo everyone, this is a very serious matter to me. There have been recent allegations against me for things I have not done. I am a vibe reader. I hang out with a ton of people after every show and always keep a positive vibe. I would not bend anyone against their will, and I mean that. I'm an adult. I've seen and been through it all. Isn't he in his 20s? Has he really been through it all?
I feel like he's in his late 20s.
Has he really been through it all?
Obviously not.
I'm an adult. I've seen and been through it all, but these claims are shaking me to the core. This type of stuff is detrimental to my persona, as I truly take pride in being myself and being honest. I want everyone to know that I am being the best Datsik I can, as well as being the best Troy I can be. His name is Troy Beatles in real life, by the way. You should know that tour is a safe and rad zone for all of us. It really breaks my heart when people feel upset at the end of the day because I am a good person and would never take advantage of anyone. Let me be straight up. I don't condone that kind of behavior, and I care about every single person that I meet on the real. I know this is a sensitive subject, and I am also a sensitive dude. So please say what you mean, but honestly, okay, hang on. This is a weird sentence. I know this is a sensitive subject, and I am also a sensitive dude. So please say what you must, but honestly, I want you to know that this stuff means the world to me. This is my life and my passion as I know it. I care so much about my fans and my music and what you all think of me. I will make a bigger effort to make sure that nothing I will do will be misinterpreted in the future. What? Okay, and obviously this story is old, and we've talked about this. What were your thoughts after you read that? Because I know that you had some feelings about that.
So before all this happened, I was a huge fan of his record label. He was record label head, like the head person of Firepower Records, and
Did he create Firepower?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he did. Okay. I'm pretty sure he did.
And real quick, it's worth mentioning that this all happened and Firepower dropped him. Right. Every venue that had him booked after this dropped him. His show got completely canceled. His Ninja Nation tour got canceled.
Right.
And I don't think, and there were several festivals that had him as the headliner, and they had to replace him with, I don't know, Diplo, I think replaced him at one point.
Yeah, it wasn't. I remember there was a festival like a few months ago that was. It was. I'm pretty sure it was going to be a Nightmare or a Excision B2B Datsik, but then it came up Excision B2B Nightmare, which I kind of thought was like a weird B2B.
Yeah, it's like. I mean, I'm fine with that, but it's weird.
I mean, it's still fine, but it just didn't seem to go together. Excision and Nightmare, but it's whatever.
You'd expect to see Nightmare and Slander, but not Excision and Nightmare. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I know that at one point, like you basically had said that you wanted to see something from him. Mm-hmm. It's like he sent out this apology, and then nothing. Like he never addressed the situations that were brought up. He just put out this apology on Twitter, and then literally everything stopped. Like, you can go to his Twitter. Of course, it's locked, so you would have had to have been following him before. But you can go to his Twitter now, and it's nothing. It's March 14th, and that's it.
Yeah.
And the fact that everything got canceled, I don't know if that was just because people didn't want to be associated with him since, now his name is basically Cancer. Because it's associated with this, but it is not good for Datsik.
Yeah, so I like I was saying, I used to be a really big fan of Firepower Records when he was still, I guess you could say the one heading it up. But apparently this is from what I can remember. I don't have anything to quote it by, but what I think I've seen or read is that. Basically, he was just the name that was in charge, but his girlfriend, I think, was the one like doing all the work is for like the actual Firepower record label.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that's what I've seen. So now that he's now that this story has come out, she is now like the actual like his used to be girlfriend, is now running the record label.
She runs Firepower.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, because
sure
Firepower is still going. Like
Firepower is still going. Yeah, like they've
literally tons of DJs.
Right. I'm pretty sure the most recent person who's released on Firepower was Native Feels, which is it's sort of short EP that he just released. It's got 3 songs on it, but those are some really good songs though.
Well, I know that when this all happened, like we initially had a discussion, and like this is obviously it's a bad situation for Datsik, but if there's any good to take out of this, he was always the top dog at Firepower, so he just got knocked off the top. Is somebody going to step up and be the new face of Firepower? I mean, is Bear Grylls going to come out and be the top dog, or?
I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but I don't know. It's.
By the way, quick fun fact: Bear Grylls was our first concert that we both saw together, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, but like Firepower has a ton of DJs on their label, and honestly, a lot of them like they kind of like. It seems like a lot of them have maybe like 1 or 2 EPs. And that's like they're kind of they're pretty new, and of course Datsik had tons. Like Datsik had been doing stuff since like 2008, 2009, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if you haven't seen Datsik in a while, that's why, and you might not see him ever again. That's the scary thing.
Which is unfortunate because I was a huge fan of Datsik's and I really liked his music, but now that this has come out, I guess I won't be able to see him anymore, which is very unfortunate. But that's how it is, and I have to accept that.
Yeah. But. So yeah, we'll continue to follow this, but honestly, right now there's nothing to follow.
Yeah, I mean, it's all there on his Twitter, so it's whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Datsik story. Like we said, that happened a few months ago, and we kind of wanted to touch on that just because it was a big story in the bass music community. I feel like another big story that's kind of happened in the bass community, or bass music community, is the welcoming of.
Wait, hold on. I want to hear how you pronounce this name. How do you think this is pronounced?
It is correctly pronounced 1788L.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because I saw the video for from his live show, and I guess the main MC said 1788L.
Yes, he said that, and then all the comments. Did you check the comments on that video?
No, I did not.
All the comments were like hounding that guy for saying, "Why did you say 1788L?"
Yeah. Okay.
It's pronounced 1788L, and that's how.
I mean, it even says it in his song Pulsar Beam.
Yeah. A lot of the songs, it always says 1788L.
Yeah.
Anyways, so 1788L has been a
big sensation. Like he just came out of nowhere, and
he came out of
now
absolutely nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we know who he is. I think there's a couple of posts maybe on Reddit that and it's probably the same people that were like, "Oh, I'm going to figure out who Marshmello is" before he did his helmet reveal or whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't he reveal his helmet and it was
Tiesto.
It was Tiesto, and then
he was doing there was one time where it was actually Marshmello. I think this was EDC Las Vegas, and it was him and then a guy and and then it turned out to be Skrillex that was wearing the other Marshmello head. But there was this one time where Tiesto was wearing the Marshmello, get up, and then he took off his helmet and it turned out to be Tiesto, which was pretty funny. But,
yeah, and I think, but I think people have I know I've seen stuff online that's like people have seen the actual Marshmello's tattoos and matched up with a guy named .com.
Yeah, Chris Comstock is his real name.
Yes, Chris Comstock. Yeah. I don't know if people have done that with 1788L yet. I think I've seen that some people have figured out who he is, and he might have not been a big name first, and 1788L is either just a side project or it's just a new project, period. But I like the mysteriousness of him. I guess it's a him, he or she.
Because we don't know. We don't know.
He did do a. Sorry, he. I keep saying that. He or she did a, like a debut live show in Los Angeles, and
yes, I think so.
And I think you can kind of like I watched a little bit of it, and I think you kind of tell it's a guy, except I think he's got long hair.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, all that stuff aside, 1788L has this weird futuristic bassy sound that is just absolutely fantastic.
It is very fantastic.
And like, I think my favorite is that Pulsar Boom song you mentioned a second ago. I could listen to that song all day long, and it would just never get old. That's probably my favorite song of the year that's been released this year.
Really?
I want to try to do this. Like, if this podcast, like, if we start doing this, maybe we can, come up with our favorite songs of the year and just keep up with, what gets released throughout the year.
Right.
I mean, for me, and I've been doing that so far. For me, it's that Pulsar Beam song, and a guy named Kaivon has a song called "Let Me Go." Those are my top two as of right now. Again, I don't know if we're actually going to keep up with it or not, but if we do, those are
currently those are really good songs.
Yeah, as of right now, those are my top two right now. But yeah, 178L he's almost released one every month this year, if not like one or two. But yeah, like, just if you have not listened to him, go listen to him now. It's just like bassy. It's like flat bassy, futuristic sounds.
Yeah.
There's not really a better way to explain it.
Yeah. Once you hear it, your eardrums are going to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I did want to mention, if you go to 178L's Twitter right now, the little the banner at the top or whatever, it has a website called whatis1788l.com, and you type that in your browser, and it takes you to this weird old computer looking website, and there's a few lines. It looks like code. The few lines that show up says run diagnostic 1788L expansion Q&A bot version 1.0 initializing greetings ask me anything 1788L, and then you can type in anything. So I said hello, and it said ask me about 1788L, and I said who is 1788L, and it said back synthetic automaton. Oh, yeah, synthetic automaton 1788-L. And then I said, why? And it said, error. And then I said, I love you. And it said, error. And then I said, this is where it gets interesting. I typed in next song and hit enter. And I got full burst. You see that?
Yeah.
And then I typed in, what's your next song? And it said that again. And then I typed in, when is your next song? And then I got this, 8-3. So
maybe this coming Friday.
This might be, is that this Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. So we might be confirming breaking news here on our first episode of the Basscast. 8-3 is our next 1788L song, and I think it's called Full Burst. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Possibly.
The theming, I'm not sure about the theming. Like, it's cool, but it's almost getting annoying. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
In SoundCloud, he puts, again, I'm saying he or she is putting all of his songs with like spaces in between all the letters.
Yeah, which I think is super distinct, and I like that.
Yeah, it's cool, but then like when I'm in my car and I'm trying to find Pulsar Beam, like I have to type in P space U space L space. Like I can't just find it real quick.
Right.
That's my only complaint. So 1788L, if you're listening, please take the spaces out on on SoundCloud. Other than that, you can keep them everywhere else.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what I thought was kind of cool. 178L is kind of basically hitting the scene by storm, because I think he's generating a huge fan base very quickly. So yeah. And he also did that, like, he's touring now with, who's it, Ikali?
I did not know that.
Ekali? I don't even know how to say that.
Ikali?
I don't know. See,
I don't know, yeah.
Again, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. We try to keep up with everything, and we'll probably mispronounce a DJ's name at some point. And if we do, just please forgive us and know that we're
bad at pronouncing.
Yeah. We're from Alabama. I mean, we both had an Alabama education.
Yeah.
So that should clear up that. If there's any mispronunciation, blame it on Alabama education.
There you
go. Okay. There was Tomorrowland was recent.
Yeah, it's been this past weekend, I think.
Was it last weekend?
Is it this weekend, or is it 2 weekends?
I don't know. Again, that Alabama education, they never taught me that.
I mean, I think it's been this past weekend and this weekend.
Well, okay, so either way, this came out late July, basically. Tomorrowland, a girl, is she a pop artist? Dua Lipa?
Do you even know how to I don't know.
Do you know how to say
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa?
Yeah.
So, assuming that's correct, Dua Lipa had tweeted out either while she was at Tomorrowland or maybe after that, she tweeted out she was happy to be the first ever international female artist to play at Tomorrowland. I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, I don't think that's correct at all.
Because it's funny, like all the stories that mentioned this then showed a couple of tweets that Rez and Alice in Wonderland had posted.
That's funny.
Who I assume they've both have played at Tomorrowland. But I kind of read into this a little bit. I think a lot of these like big time artists and like music people, they have somebody that's just doing the tweeting for them. And I assume somebody just made an accident.
Yeah.
And basically tweeted something like some false information, or somebody told them false information. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna tweet that." But again, you know, you've got the artist name on the Twitter account, and they're gonna be the ones that gets the criticism, especially if you do something like this. And I think that's kind of what Rez and Alice in Wonderland were doing. I think it's funny.
Yeah, I think it is too. I like these both the comments from Rez and Allison. Oh,
yeah, like Alice in Wonderland's like, "Are we not artists too?" Haha.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
When I mean they're both well known, and Dua Lipa, I mean,
what is Dua Lipa pop? I know I've seen people remix some of her songs.
Didn't she do a song with Bass Nectar?
What? I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure she did.
Really?
I can check that. I'm pretty sure she did. I remember him talking to her. Oh, hold on a second.
Are you thinking? I don't think so.
Okay, maybe I'm.
I think you're thinking.
I'm crazy.
You're thinking of that "I'm Feeling Good" song or whatever. I think you're thinking of.
I think I'm crazy.
I think you're crazy. I've seen on SoundCloud people have remixed her song, like some of her songs.
Right.
But, who does that Feeling Good song? Nina Simone. I think you're thinking of this. Nina Simone has a song called Feeling Good, and Bass Nectar remixed it. That was a few years ago, though.
Maybe. I don't know. I just thought I've seen him mention her name in some of his social media platforms. But I don't know.
I mean, unless they have something under the woodworks, but yeah. So anyways, yeah, that was kind of a funny story. I don't know if we want to talk about the whole Demi Lovato um, OD issue. What exactly happened? Like
Okay.
that was this week, right?
Uh, yeah, I think it was this week. So, in case you don't know, for like the past couple of years, while Demi was touring, she just kind of relied on drugs in order to get through her day, get through her tours, get through interviews that she had, and then if you watch any YouTube videos, or if you're on YouTube at all, then you would know that there was a YouTube documentary that specifically for YouTube Red subscribers or whatever. And there was a documentary of her overcoming that, I guess. And here now, within just a few months' time, I mean, she's already back ODing on, I think it was heroin. And this is one reason why we don't condone drugs, or why we don't like drugs. Like, this is the main reason why. So.
Yeah, I mean, this, again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, you get these stories with big-time artists ODing on drugs, and that scares me, and that turns me away from drugs and even wanting to try them. So, yeah. She actually OD'd on...
Yeah, I think she OD'd on heroin.
Heroin?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So is she okay at this point?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a...
Like, she was rushed to the hospital.
Yeah, she was rushed to the hospital. I think she was treated, and then, we see all these tweets and all these messages, telling her to,
get better.
Get better, feel better. Yeah,
people always say...
feel supportive and all that.
So anyways, yeah, I think that's about going to do it for our first episode.
Yeah.
Alex, where can they find you on the socials?
So, on the social media, my social media is RedXWebEv. I think you can
have to spell that out for the...
Okay, so it is REDX. I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
And he doesn't even.
Sorry. REDX _ Webev, WEBEV. That's my Instagram.
That's your Instagram.
Yeah, that's my Instagram. And Twitter, I think, is the same without the... Oh, sorry. Yes. Twitter's the same, same thing.
And mine is Web Evan Bailey. So it comes out WEBEVANBAILEY. And that's the same on Twitter and Instagram. And Alex and we're not good at making music, but we do enjoy it. And we have several songs on YouTube and SoundCloud, and you're definitely welcome to check us out there. I've definitely posted all the 2 songs that we've worked on. I posted on my profile, and I've done a couple songs by myself. We definitely want to do more stuff in the future. But again, we live in 2 different places, so it's kind of hard to work together and collab.
Right.
But yeah, definitely feel free to check us out. Again, our music is not the greatest thing you'll ever hear ever. It's mostly us just experimenting and seeing what happens. But
right.
But yeah, I guess that's gonna do it. And thank you for listening. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Have a great day.